Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. So the other shoe has just dropped 2 days ago. An article comes out saying that Russia has suspended the memorandum that would prevent conflict with America. Essentially American Air Force in the air itself, in that particular region of Syria. So this is The Independent. The Russian Foreign Ministry said following Donald Trump's decision to fire 59 cruise missiles at a military target in Syria on Thursday, Moscow was suspending a memorandum with the United States that prevented incidents and ensured flight safety. Under the memorandum, signed after Russia launched an air campaign in Syria on September 2015, Russia and the United States had exchanged information about their flights to avoid incidents in the crowded skies over Syria, where Russia had several dozen warplanes and batteries of air defense missiles. The so-called deconfliction line between the United States and Russia has been credited with by a number of U.S. pilots with helping keep them safe, while the U.S. air campaign in Syria tends to steer clear of the areas where Russia is in operation. Ending such cooperation is seen by activists in the region as a worrying turn. That's not just a worrying turn, that is catastrophic. Russian President Vladimir Putin, a staunch ally of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, condemned the United States strikes near homes, saying they broke international law and have seriously damaged U.S.-Russia relations. Now, we need to be clear on this. When Russia does something, the United States does the same thing. When they were bombing and killing all those people, I think it was in Aleppo, United States. Oh my God, they're killing all of these people. There's something wrong. We need the international community. When the United States is doing the same thing, Russia leaps to its feet. We need the international community. The UN, the international community, is just there as a chess piece for whatever, just for propaganda's sake. So a statement from the Russian Foreign Ministry reads, "The very presence of U.S. troops in other countries on the territory of Syria without the consent of the government or the decision of the UN Security Council is a gross, obvious, and unwarranted violation of international law." He's right. They may be a pawn in a sense, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's wrong. If before it was due to the task of combating terrorism, now there is a clear act of aggression against a sovereign Syria. U.S. actions taken today further destroy Russia and American relations. The country defense ministry said the Syrian Air Force defenses will be beefed up following the U.S. airstrikes, with Russian news agencies reporting that the ministry has also mocked the effectiveness of the strikes as extremely low, claiming that only 23 missiles hit their target. That's kind of irrelevant. I mean, whether they hit their target or not, ultimately it's the U.S. president unilaterally making the decision without international law, without local law, meaning law within this government, without congressional approval, and without any moral authority whatsoever to launch these strikes. It doesn't matter whether they hit or not, it's the fact that he did it. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, meanwhile, said Moscow would demand an explanation from the United States over the airstrikes, describing the attack as an act of aggression with an invented pretext, and adding that he hoped the provocation would not lead to irreparable damage to Russian and U.S. ties. I love this part. The British government has meanwhile said it fully supports the United States in carrying out the airstrike, describing the cruise missile strikes launched from the U.S. ships in the Mediterranean as a warning shot that was necessary and appropriate. You would think that America's lapdog, Britain, would have realized that after the first time where Tony Blair, that criminal, murdered all those people, helping the United States president doing so, and selling his own country out in the process, that they wouldn't be so quick to jump on the bandwagon. You have a conservative government. It was a Labour government that did it before. Are you telling me that Theresa May, after seeing the crimes and the disaster that befell Labour for being the lapdog of the United States, is going to also back up this illegal behavior of the United States? Again, you're backing them up again. Good job, Britain. Good job. Yeah, Russia's right. Yes, they're using this whole Security Council thing as purely a chess piece. It doesn't matter. Is what they're saying accurate? Yes, what they're saying is accurate. The United States, unilaterally, against local law, against international law, made a strike into a sovereign country. Beforehand, we were paying terrorists to undermine these countries, or at the very least undermine Syria. There's another important point on this. Back in I think it was 2013, when the first strike hit, and Obama said, "It's a red line, it's a red line." It's very possible that the Syrian government did not do that strike. Seymour Hersh came out, an investigative reporter, and he made the point that it is unclear at best, and it is likely that the Syrian government did not do that attack in 2013, even though the media, for the most part, ignored it. They didn't do their investigation. They completely went with the government line, saying that Syria was responsible for it. They didn't even let the investigation finish in this particular instance. Syria has no reason to make that strike. I'm not saying they didn't do it. It's irrelevant to me whether they did it or not. It's besides the point. Whether they did it or not, it is still illegal to do that strike. We have no just cause, or we have no pretense to do it. Our behavior is illegal, whether they did the strike or not. I'm making the point that even what they're using as a pretext, they didn't let it go through the proper channels to make the determination on whether or not the Syrian government actually committed that particular crime. So, yeah, this is gross. This is absolutely illegal. Russia has taken upon themselves at this point to take off the restraints. And if the United States is going to try to push this further, they will shoot down a U.S. plane. You cannot blame Russia for shooting down a U.S. plane in that situation. It is the United States that is being aggressive. Again. They're being aggressive again. And once again, invading another country that we have no business invading. This is gross, and this is bad. And this could be the first step, or the second step, in the lead up to a nuclear war. I've said it before, keep an eye on your government. They are doing things that are gross, duplicitous, and they are trying to get us killed. Alright guys, if you enjoy the content, feel free to write, feel free to share, like the videos, and of course, you can support the work on Patreon. Thanks.